Hi, I'm Philomena from Evolution Power Yoga and Evolution Go, and I'm going to lead you through a 20-minute asana on making space for something new. What you'll need is a mat or a space to practice yoga and a strap. Feel free to go get those things now. This sequence starts in Child's Pose. Child's Pose is on your mat. Separate your knees about the width of your mat and move your glutes towards your heels. Stretch your arms out towards the front of the mat and rest your forehead down on the mat. 5 breath cycles here. I'm going to move. You stay where you're at. You're taking those 5 breath cycles. As you do, feel that sheet of tissue at your lower back. Just relax. Notice your glutes, your butt area getting closer to your heels. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Notice the connection of the forehead to the mat. On your next breath cycle, move into a tabletop position. Form the tabletop with your body. Ensure that your shoulders are in line with your elbows and your wrists. Knees in line with your hips. Bend your elbows slightly and swivel the points of your elbows towards the space behind you. Keep that slight bend or flexion in your elbows. And breathe in and out. Move your right arm out to T and inhale as you rotate your spine, looking up at your hand, and exhale, rotate it under. We're not going to rest down quite yet. If you're familiar with thread the needle, we're just going to inhale back out of this posture and under. So the space that we're creating is space in the chest cavity, also known as the thoracic cavity. The next time you come under, rest your right shoulder down on the floor, right ear on the floor, and stay. Again, you stay. I'm going to move so I can talk to you. Attempt to flatten your right ear on the floor more and scoot that right shoulder back towards the space behind you more. Lots of stretch in your neck region and across your shoulder. 2 more breaths right here in this posture. And inhale up out of it into your tabletop. Left arm out to T. Remember, keep that right elbow slightly flexed and rotate your spine looking up at your left hand. Weave it on under. About 2 more times. Inhaling, opening up, and exhaling, going under. Last time. Inhale, feel that big rotation, that big stretch across your chest, getting all that space. Weave it under. Left ear rests on the mat. Left shoulder on the mat. Keep flattening that left ear and moving your left shoulder towards the space behind you. 3 more breaths here. Again, I'm going to move. You stay where you're at. You're looking for stretch across your neck, across your shoulders, and an opening across your chest. Back up into your tabletop posture. So those are 2 ways you can move your spine. Rotation to the right, rotation to the left. The next way we're going to move the spine is lateral flexion. Extend your left leg back and cross it over your right heel or your right foot. So I'll just demonstrate that once more. Left leg back, cross it over, and rest the ball of your foot on the floor. Laterally flex your spine so that you're looking back at your right foot. Now, notice my shoulder heads are going up to my ears. Draw your shoulder blades back and down your back. Keep your abdominal muscles engaged and keep looking back at that foot. You're after a side body stretch. Now creating space on the side of your chest, thoracic cavity. All right, one more big in. Let the air out. Stretch it on back and knee down on the mat. Other side. Right leg back. Cross it over the plane of your body and rest it down on the floor, ball of the foot on the floor. And now look back at your toes or your foot. You want to feel that stretch between your ribs, between your bottom rib and your pelvis. All that soft tissue, the whole side of your body, the whole way down to your foot. Feel it stretch. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Keep those elbows a little bit bent, shoulders down, broad chest, and come back to center. Knee, I know there's a lot to think about. Knee onto the floor. All right, spinal flexion and extension, also known as dog and cow pose. Arch your back, take the middle of your back up towards the ceiling, tuck your chin substantially, tuck that tailbone under, and then inhale, reverse, sink your belly, tailbone up, shoulders up. 2 more times. So these are 2 other movements associated with your spine to get lots of space in your chest. Last time. Into tabletop position. We move into a downward dog just for a moment. Hands forward. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. And move to the front of your mat. As you come up, grab the strap that you have. Of course, the strap could be a scarf. It could be a tie, belt. You take the strap, thumbs oriented inward, and take it up over your head. Arms towards the back. Now you might have to change the distance between your thumbs. If you aren't getting a lot of information, a lot of sensation, then bring your thumbs together a bit more. And go back, or vice versa. Lengthen. Pull in your abdominal muscles, bend your knees slightly, and feel that pelvic tilt. Get your pelvis neutral and take your arms towards the back space. Just going to go back and forth. As you stay, you might notice that you've created some stretch and you can choke up on your strap a bit by bringing your hands together. I'm going to do about 3 more breath cycles. Keep slowly inhaling and exhaling as you move the strap over your head and down towards the floor. Some people call this shoulder flossing. Now we're going to do some work on a sticky spot. Find that sticky spot that's giving you a lot of information. Just hang out there and gently rock the strap back and forth in that area, stretching out that soft tissue, massaging it open. Remember, keep your knees a little bit bent, guts in. I keep reminding myself, obviously, just to support your lower back. And release that strap. Let it rest on the floor. Move into mountain pose. And just feel the impact, the echo of that stretch across the tops of your shoulders. Inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. Bend your knees and forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Put your hands on your thighs. Draw those shoulder heads back. Scapular or shoulder blades depressing down your back and cinch in your abdominal muscles. Hands to the floor and lower your whole body right down to the mat. Put your hands at the base of your ribs. Make a 90-degree angle with your elbows. Press into your hands and lift the center of your heart up towards the space in front of you and exhale. This is called Cobra Pose. 2 more of those. Inhale, heart forward and exhale. Last one. Inhale your heart forward and move into your downward facing dog. Big breath in. Air out. Crescent lunge. Move your right foot forward into your crescent lunge and inhale your arms up. So your right foot is forward and arms up. Get a deeper bend in your front knee, deep crease in your hip, attempting to get your thigh parallel with the floor. Good, just 2 more breaths. Feel that stretch on the front side of your left thigh. Hands to heart center. That stretch also can give you more space in your abdominal region and your chest going into that twist. Attempt to breathe into your belly region. Of course, the air is not going into your belly, but it is causing your belly to bulge out. So the air going into the lungs, causing the belly to bulge out. The way you can get more space is lift up out of it a bit more and open up your arms, breathing down into your belly. Do you see how that calms you down? Even in this wild posture, breathing into the belly has a calming effect. Diaphragmatic breathing. Inhale your arms up into your crescent lunge, and then come right on up into your mountain pose. Move into warrior 2. So warrior 2, your right foot is forward. Bend your right knee a lot. And stretch out your arms. Keep pulling in those abdominal muscles. Flip your front palm and straighten your right knee, moving into a big lateral flexion here, asking for space between each of the ribs, between the bottom rib and your pelvis. Hands to heart center. Bring your hands to your hips. Pigeon toe your feet towards the center. Bend your knees and move into a forward fold. You stay where you're at. I'm going to stand up so I can speak to the camera. In your forward fold, feel that stretch across your lower back. So the chest cavity, of course, is what we're after. We're after opening up that space in the shoulder area. But all those muscles overlap even with your lower back. So by stretching out your lower back, you get more space actually throughout your whole entire front side body and your thoracic cavity. Tent your fingertips out in front of you about 2 feet and move to a standing position. Cartwheel your hands down and move right into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left-sided crescent lunge. Move your left foot forward and down into your crescent lunge. Looking for that parallel to the floor thigh and a big stretch on the front side of your right thigh. So all these muscles here actually overlap with a very important breathing muscles, the diaphragm. So by stretching this, you're actually creating more space, more stretch with your diaphragm, and consequently more space in the thoracic cavity. Going for that twist. Twist over towards your left. I'm going to come out of this twist, but you stay here for about 3 more breath cycles. As you're in that twist, keep lifting your belly off of your thigh and breathe down into your belly. It'll keep you calm, and it'll make this posture more relaxing and more calming. Come back up into your crescent lunge and take a big step forward, moving into your mountain pose. Left-sided warrior 2. Move your left foot forward and go down into your warrior 2. Sink it on down. Always looking for that parallel thigh to the floor. Round across your chest and open up your arms. Feel that openness in your chest. Flip your front palm, going for that lateral flexion. Same deal. Stretch in the armpit. Stretch between the ribs, stretch between the bottom ribs and the pelvis, the whole length of the leg. Feel that big long stretch. And then grab your strap, just like we started with shoulder flossing. Create a bind with your strap, thumbs oriented. Inward. And take the strap over your head. If the distance doesn't feel right, then bring your hands together or separate them more. Bend your knees and feel that stretch across the tops of your shoulders. Staying here for 5 breath cycles. So your edge is the hands the whole way down on the floor. Some of you might be hitting the floor. If you are, then bring your hands together, which makes it more challenging. 2 more breaths. Last one. Back up into mountain pose and inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. A little bit of balancing. Stand on your right leg. Get very strong in your right leg. Lift your left knee up. And we're going for a twist. Put your right hand on your knee. Dancing Shiva, this is called, if you're familiar with this posture. And big, huge twist here. Focusing in on that shoulder area, opening up, and come back to center. Other side. Get your wits, get your balance. And moving into that twist. 2 more breaths. Keep peering at the wall behind you. And back to center, mountain pose. Inhale your arms up. Bend your knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Downward facing dog. And roll out to a high plank. Lower your entire body down to the mat. 1 locust pose. Tuck your toes under. Keep the ball mounds on your feet on the floor. Interlace your fingers at your low back and lift your arms off of your low back. Tuck your chin. Really feel that broadening across your chest. Now, release your bind, release your toes, and fly into your locust pose, opening up your shoulders. And release. Put your right arm out to T and roll over your right shoulder. Back to center. Left arm out to T and roll, opening up this shoulder. Back to center. Press your hands into your knees. Swing your legs around. Arms out and roll down to the floor. 1 bridge or wheel pose. Again, flattening those shoulder blades onto the earth. Lift your hips up, interlace your hands, and open up your chest. Stay here or move into your wheel pose, feeling that expansion across your chest. Great shoulder openers, bridge or wheel. Just a couple more breaths here. And lower it down. Supine twist. Scoot your butt over towards the left, legs down towards the right. Opposite arm stretches out and gaze over towards the left. Keep cinching in those abdominal muscles. And let gravity have its way with you as you move into this twist. Other side. Keep breathing, slow inhales and exhales. Back to center. Shavasana. So Shavasana is a rest pose. Just coming back to a normal breath cycle, feeling that space that you created in your chest. Spread out wide like a jumping jack, as wide as you can, stretch apart. And hug your knees into your chest. Rock over onto your right side. Put your forehead on the floor, feel that connection. Come up to a seated position. We'll end with one Om. Om. And now you've created all of this space to create something new. Namaste.